Welcome to Lakeshow Podcast, presented by Jack in the Box. It's a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Allie Clifton, Chris McGee, Mike Bresnahan. Guys, I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for our guy Brett, who just found me out in the hallway, sitting there waiting on you two, thinking that you guys weren't here.
We were literally having a conversation. I was talking to a buddy on the phone as well, and then we were chatting, and we were wondering where you were.
Brett said, Allie, get in here.
Brett, good job.
Wrangling me like a
Got
herd.
a great story, if you want me to lead off.
Please.
With anything.
Yep.
Okay?
Brett?
So it is about Brett and Nacho. So Sweet Lou, who's not here today, Sweet Lou tells me this story. Sweet Lou catches a lift from the airport, and he's coming back to work.
When was it?
He lands from Orlando,
Okay.
driving back to work. This is a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And he's in a lift. And he's getting dropped off here. And the guy sees his badge, Spectrum badge. And the guy starts asking him, like, do you work there? And Sweet Lou's like, yeah. And he's like, doing what? And he tells him what he does and everything. Like, he's in the studios. He's like, with the Dodgers and the Lakers. And he's a huge Laker fan. And he goes like, like, Geeter, Brez, Allie, James, all the, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I work with all of them. Of course. And he's like, I'm like behind the scenes, do the camera. He started explaining what it is. And the guy goes, do you know all the behind the scenes people like Brett, Nacho, Sweet Lou? And Sweet Lou goes, I am Sweet Lou. Guy takes a picture with Sweet Lou right out here because he's famous.
He's
famous.
That's
why we
Is it because he
have
listens
these
to
guys
the
in the show.
podcast and he knows
Yes,
about
he listens to the podcast and he watches our shows all the time. So shout out to the Lyft driver, wish I knew his name, who took Sweet Lou from the airport to here, but also said, Nacho, Brett, and Sweet Lou? I mean, if that's not the effing greatest story in the, and then he said, how good
so
is Nacho?
good.
And he
People
also
know you
said,
guys.
how good has Nacho been? And Sweet Lou said he's been great. You don't know that. It's a Galaxy reference. But
How do you
true
guys
story.
feel?
So when Brett doesn't want to be mic'd up,
Okay, we don't listen.
this is why we talk about him, though, all
Yeah.
these guys.
Nacho, we talk to
These guys
Brett.
are part of
we
the
need,
show.
We need a cam on you guys.
These guys are part of the
A lot
show.
of complaints over
We'll
there.
say what you guys feel. What do you guys think?
And then the guy said, where's Justin been? No, he didn't say that.
Sitting in the tree
happened
out of
to
Dodger
Fernando?
Stadium. You guys, that's
Where's
awesome,
Fernando at?
right? Singapore.
How's Audio Joe? I mean, he's throwing all kinds of things in there.
You are the best embellisher of stories ever.
This story. That's
true.
Okay, by the way, we were going over this story a week ago.
I know
Could
the
not wait.
story's real, but
The
to say
story is
Fernando.
real. He didn't say Fernando. He said Nacho, Brett, and Sweet Lou.
What? Are you guys excited? You never know when you're going to need a Lyft driver and one to be on your side.
Yeah, just say I'm Nacho from Spectrum SportsNet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got
He won't know me.
You guys got to try that when you're going into the club and you're in a line or something.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Yeah.
Do you know who
Hey,
I am?
Nacho
We
from
don't do
Spectrum.
lines.
Maybe the guy's like, dude, no way. I'm a huge Laker fan. Maybe the guy's like, I don't care. And they're like, cool.
At least I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
Never
the
know.
way, there's no doubt Sweet Lou does like Uber Black for sure, Uber Lux. Like he dials it up a couple levels when he gets in that Lyft or that Uber. Like
Tell you
he's-
what.
Oh, what a story.
Yeah, Sweet Lou. When you see him, you got to bring it up. True story. I mean,
Sweet Lou or the Uber driver? Or the
Sweet
Lyft
Lou.
driver? Yeah,
got to see him. And he
for sure.
took a picture of the guy, everything. I said, did you tell your family on Sweet Lou's daughter? Did you tell your wife, daughter about this?
So you're like
famous.
famous? Yeah.
You have a good Uber
You
driver
bet your
story?
ass I told him.
You have a good Uber story after the holiday party a few years ago.
We've already told
That's the
that.
one he embellishes
No, we'll tell that
so
at home.
much.
We'll tell that at Christmas time.
Yeah. it's so
I did
good.
not embellish that story either.
A little bit at the end. And every time you tell it, it gets better and better and better.
I'm telling you, the gate.
Just like Fernando. Where's
telling
Fernando?
you. The guy was like, it's a fake $20 bill, man.
Yeah. Now I know, especially when I walk your dog in your neighborhood, everyone's paying attention to where Geeter is. So you definitely woke up the entire street,
What are you talking about?
the entire block.
People.
I had Geeter's dog over the weekend. We are so going to get to Laker news because we just are fresh off the press
Yeah.
conference with Pelinka and JJ Redick. We'll get to that in
Next
one
week
second.
we'll start with
But-
Laker stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touche.
We got another week.
This is Hell Week.
Touche.
Yeah, Hell Week
Yeah.
starting. Double days.
2 days.
So we need Zeffy to
We're
bring us
doing
back to
2
life.
days
We need
today.
Nacho and Brett to bring us back to life. So I take in Zeffy I take her in. She doesn't have a family. I watched Zeffy Friday to Saturday. Quick
Quick trip.
in and out. And I go to drop Zeffy back. This is how good of a dog sitter I am. Okay, Brez?
Oh, I believe it.
We're going to act like Eater's not here.
Okay. Yeah.
Not only do I watch, care, I have cleaned poop out of her before.
Wow.
Do we need to...
You're the best dog
Do we need
sitter
to
ever.
edit that?
You can't say that on TV anymore.
I said, do we need to edit that? And they just put a dog barking in my ear. Clearly, we know where it stands. She did. She struggled. I put her in the shower, give her all the treatment, love, and care
This
that she
past
needs.
weekend?
No, that was the first
Okay.
time I watched her.
And you agreed to do it again.
So I have Marissa over on Saturday.
Okay.
She's petting Zeffy, talking about going back to see Daddy Geeter. And I was like, if I ever hear someone call Geeter Daddy again. So anyways, Zeffy, pick her up, go to drop her off. You got to take her for a walk. You can't just put her back in the house after she ate and she didn't go to the bathroom.
She's great at watching the dog.
Oh, yeah, we do all the
I
things.
can tell.
So all around the block, going
clean her-
around the
her
block,
poop.
you have people shouting out, Zeffy, out the windows. You've got dogs barking. You've got Zeffy running up to the dogs, having a full-on conversation. It's like, Zeffy, we got things to do. I got to get to the laundry mat. Let's go. So we're going around the block. All of a sudden, these two sweet individuals, husband and a wife,
Tom and
holler
Kelly.
down the street.
Yeah.
Zeffy, is that Zeffy? Oh, we love Zeffy. And I was like, who are you? They were out getting signatures for your chili cook-off. So we asked them to add Marissa and I to the
Gotta
list.
shut down the street, guys.
Got to shut down the street.
Yeah.
And then they asked us if we would say hello to Nacho and Brett. They as well listened to the podcast. So they know exactly.
Right.
Embellisher now.
They know Sweet
No, they
Lou.
really did. They actually really did. But nonetheless, they were like telling us how the last time I was supposed to watch Zeffy and I couldn't because I was watching Miles. I'm the
Yeah,
dog
we were in
sitter.
Hawaii.
They were in Hawaii. Poor Zeffy
She got
sprayed by a skunk.
She got
What?
skunked.
No.
Yeah.
They were like,
in the
"Did
corner
you know that
of
Zeffy got
our little
skunked?"
grass area. It's
No.
not grass, like our little patio area.
That's
Zeffy at 6:30 in the morning. Kelly, our neighbor, brought her over to, she's going to get the food out of the fridge or whatever. And we were in Hawaii. And I mean, Zeffy saw the skunk went into the corner. Skunk raised its little tail right there and just poof.
No.
Right in her
Smashed
face.
Zeffy in the eyes.
No.
Skunked her, Brett.
That's
The
terrible.
neighbor said if they
So-
didn't have a dog of their own that they love very much, Zeffy would be
They love Zeffy.
their main dog.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Zeffy's just running ship over
All
there.
right, so
Do
Yeah.
more people know Zeffy than Geeter on that street? It sounds
let's
like.
not get crazy.
People know more of Zeffy. Yes, absolutely. Especially all the dogs.
All right, that'll do it. Bucket of break.
All right, see you
What
next
we
week.
got? That's a good show. Let's get going. Nacho liked that one. Let's go.
I cannot believe people know Nacho and Brett. That's amazing.
And Sweet. I mean, how
And
good is that
Sweet Lou,
story?
Yeah, that's so good.
That's
I
unbelievable.
keep thinking because Sweet Lou told it that he knew Sweet Lou. All right.
Eat the chili cook-off, by the way? Is that
Marissa and I are on the list. We added ourselves to
A
the
lot of
list.
good chili on the block. I've never made mine out there, but like people are like they've been doing this for 50
Oh, so you make
years.
your own? And,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
no,
like a
you have-
potluck.
it's a full
Okay.
chili cook-off, and they vote the awards.
Can I be a part of it? My mom just threw a chili dump at
Yeah.
our house. And
you-
like it's a big thing.
Can you like represent our would you
I
make it in front of
100%
our
will.
house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take
When
care
is
of your
it?
dog. I'll feed your family, like whatever you need.
Do you know when it is?
No, I just said put it down and let have Keeter tell us when
This
it is.
weekend, a lot of good football games on this weekend, so hopefully it's not
Yeah.
a panic
The,
on Saturday.
Hopefully
gentleman,
November.
they're supposed to get his signatures, and he looked at his wife. He's like, just write their name down. He couldn't get a hold of him. It was so funny. All right. There's a lot that came from that press conference. I
Yeah.
feel like
Pretty in-depth.
I thought it was great.
whether it
Yep.
was the
Spoke for
injury
30
news
minutes.
for Jarred Vanderbilt,
We got some clarity. I told Brez during our show.
which was great.
Procedures on each foot. That's a big
Procedures
deal.
on each foot, which we
Yeah.
did not know, and apparently, and Dave McMenamin went back and said when.
Yep.
And Rob was right after the season.
Yeah.
But this is the timeline.
Yeah.
And I liked what Rob said that by the time it's real games, the hope is because we're still a month away. But
Some
less than a
optimism.
month. But like, there's ramp up process. So Vando may miss some time, but would obviously 6 more weeks. That was a cleanup procedure that you couldn't avoid.
Yep.
Uh,
So he's early
Love
November.
JJ's answer about the bigs. Like, we have one that's really special. His name's Anthony Davis. We're going to be fine, he said. And
Clarify what a traditional
lot of
big
talk
is.
about the continuity of things. Like, when you look at that team and how good this team has been for the last 2 years, I think the Lakers are very confident in what they have there. And that's what they keep kind of going back to. And, there's good basketball players on that team. It's a good
Gabe
team.
is healthy.
Gabe's good to go.
Jalen healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very excited about Max Christie, which we've talked about. And we've listened
Big time.
to them all kind of summer long.
The biggest question marks, actually, and Brez addressed this on our show, Allie, was really like, you know what you have there in the starting group, and you know what you have in the role players. What's the bench going to be? Like, what is that bench rotation end up being? When you really win games, as JJ says, he's so right. championship teams that win, have 8 guys that impact a game, right? You play 9, but like whatever, 9, 10, but 8 that really impact winning. So the Lakers bench last year, 28th in the league in terms of scoring. Bench doesn't have to be number 1 in the league to win. No, that's not true. It means your starters aren't very good. But you need to be able to produce and help teams win. So I'm not going to measure that by points, but who plays on that bench and how they defend and how they fit in and how they keep leads, build leads, be able to come back, play at a different pace, whatever you need from your bench. That's going to be the biggest. It's now become my number 1.
Yeah. It was
I know who the starters are. He's right.
Yeah.
The starters are good.
Yeah, you don't worry about the starting 5. And I like what JJ did, not too long ago. Went on a podcast, said, here's the starting 5. There's no question about it. Because there was some question last year. There were some injuries the team was dealing with. Now we know who the 5 are. Who are the next 5? That's absolutely going to be really fascinating. And is Dalton Connect one of those reserves? Is he going to get 14 to 16 minutes a game? Might be a little high. We'll see what he can do. But if he's shooting, high 30%, low 40% from three-point range, and he's not afraid to take the threes, because the Lakers, not only were they 28th in bench scoring last year, they were 28th in three-pointers attempted. So they got to get that volume up, especially in today's NBA. And, the other thing I liked was how JJ said, the one player I've talked to the most, I'm thinking, okay, is it LeBron or AD? He said, it's D'Angelo Russell. I thought, oh, that's interesting. He said he's talked to him a lot. He really likes D'Lo's energy right now. He's in a good place, he said. And he likes his leadership so far in these voluntary workouts that they're having around the corner at UCLA Health. So, it's early. There's still, 4 weeks from opening night, but definitely a lot of optimism today for sure.
One question they really dove into was obviously the backup center position and the depth at the center spot.
Or lack of.
And just kind of the flexibility in what the Lakers are willing to do with draft picks. So we're going to take a listen really quick to what Rob Pelinka had to say on their willingness to use those future draft picks to get better.
I think the philosophy that JJ and I are aligned on is we want to build sustainable Lakers excellence. And I think when you talk about moves, you can make a move that backfires. I think every GM has made a trade that they say, maybe that one wasn't ideal. But every lens that we look through has to lead to sustainable Laker excellence. So the direct answer to your question is yes, we would do a trade with both picks if that would lead to sustainable Lakers excellence. We would also use one pick to make a marginal upgrade if we felt like it was the right thing to do. We looked long and hard and did a lot of work at seeing if there were ways to increase the overall roster talent this offseason. And the right move didn't present itself. It's not an excuse to say that we have a different system that is more of a limiting system for trades and moves. And so there's just less of a supply for opportunities, but we will continue to study and scour the marketplace. And if the right move presents itself that leads to long-term Lakers excellence and improving our team this season, we'll pull the trigger.
I mean, it's what you want to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Rob did not sit in his office all summer and say, okay, everybody opted in. We've got our 15 guys. We took 2 guys in the draft. We're just gonna chill. No, he's been on the phones. There's no doubt about it. Not every day, maybe not even every week, but a good GM is continually talking to other teams to look for ways to upgrade the team. So it's not like everyone's getting to training camp now, and it's like, yeah, let's start calling people and see what we can do to make things better. This has been going on for months, and as Rob said, there was nothing out there. What's the quote he used? I think it was with you, Allie, when after the trade deadline back in February, the real estate quote. I think he was looking for a house.
You can't buy a house that's not for sale.
There you go. Thank you. And, there's no house for sale this summer.
There you really good.
Yeah.
Rob.
Good job, Al.
It's not Rob's job to tell us, the media and fans, every detail of every trade that does not go down.
Yeah.
So he always says this, and I know why he says it, but people still don't always understand it. To make the team better, he will make the trade. But he has to also look at, okay, for us to get X, we have to trade pick, Rui, and Reeves. That doesn't make us better. people want guys to go with those picks. So I think in his eyes, he's always looking at like, does that actually make us better? Bringing an A player or a B player, whatever it is, if you have to give up so much on the other side, it maybe doesn't always work. So I know people just think, oh my God, we got to get this, we got to get that, but it's not easy. First of all, you need 2, sometimes 3 teams to make the trade, right? So I don't know. It's the Lakers are always out there looking for it. They're trying for sure. It's just not easy to do.
Laker fans are spoiled. Whenever the team seems down on its luck.
We are, Brez.
Yeah.
And I like it.
2008, Kobe's getting agitated. He's getting irritated. He's like, what is going on? We have not gotten past the first round since Shaquille O'Neal left town. Yeah. Pau Gasol arrives. Boom. They're in the finals 3 years in a row. They win 2 of them. 2019. LeBron's
What's amazing about the Pau year, Brez, is heading into that season was when he requested the trade.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It was a very nervous summer of unrest in 2007. About 6 months later, here's Pau Gasol to save the day. 2019.
Who broke that story again?
Well, you might be looking at
Mike Bresnahan.
From an airport in Detroit. It was unbelievable.
What a weirdo. What were you doing
Love
there?
that city. And then again, just a little over 5 years ago, or about 5 years ago, LeBron's been here a year. That didn't go so well the first year. Here comes Anthony Davis in another blockbuster trade, and the Lakers are winning a championship right away. So I think Laker fans, we're a little spoiled, because this team in the past, has been willing to do the right trade that'll make this team great again.
And look what they had to give up in that trade. And you would do it, to me, I would do it a million times. People always go, oh, did the Lakers win that? What do you mean did they win the trade? They got Anthony Davis and won a title. Like, they had the assets. They had the picks, and they had the young talent. That young talent came from drafts from before, from not having good seasons. So you had to give up a young Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, some picks. Like, that's life. That's how you get those big-time players. But if that's not available, then you can't just go handpick them out.
It'd be a whole other story, too, if the Lakers hadn't won a championship. And I agree with what Austin Reeves said. Sure. Had LeBron not been, don't quote me on this, but I believe I just read this. Austin Reeves mentioned if LeBron wasn't the one that won the championship in 2020 or a part of the championship in 2020, people would not be saying it as they are speaking on it being the bubble.
It was a championship. They played 72 games, and everyone knows.
It's the same. Yeah. The Lakers won a championship.
Yeah, they were there literally 93 days or whatever it was, playing 4 out of 7 against Dame, Harden, Westbrook, Jokic, Murray, Jimmy. They played everyone, and everyone had the same chance.
Because my dad's calling. There's a hurricane near Tampa. Can you mind if I check with him real quick?
Check in.
Hey, Dad, you're on with my coworkers, Allie and Geeter. Everything okay in Florida? I called you to make sure the hurricane hasn't touched ground near you yet. You okay? Maybe? Dad?
What was that?
Yeah. Hey, Dad. I'm on a podcast with my coworkers, Allie and Chris McGee, and I just want to make sure everything's okay. How's the hurricane doing? Are we okay out there? Dad? Where'd you go?
This has not gone as planned.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll check with my dad later.
I hope
Hopefully
he's okay.
the hurricane hasn't taken him.
So where's the hurricane right now, Brez?
It's closing in on Florida, supposedly tonight. Oh. Yeah. So
is this his first one?
He was out of town. He moved there about a year and a half ago. He was out of town and one hit last year, but everything was okay. I think this is going to miss Tampa, so I think it'll be okay.
Tampa's had a couple big ones back.
Yeah. I think they're calling this one Helene or Helen, one or the other. Oh, he's calling back. Hold on one sec. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, it keeps going back to my hearing aids or something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to make sure you're okay. You're live on our podcast. Is everything all right down there?
Yeah, the storm is going to be probably a Cat 4.
Okay.
But it's staying at least where we are.
Okay. All right.
So we got a Cat 4 coming into Tampa.
Rain and wind, 5 or 6 feet of storm surge. Poor old Tallahassee.
Florida State.
Florida State. We're struggling. All right. Well, you're kind of in and out, Dad. I'll call you after the podcast, but it sounds like you're going to be all right. All right. All right. Bye, Dad.
Had we had
So
better
sweet.
service, that would have been great because Dad was.
Very into it.
Dad could speak it.
He was like
Dad
a
was dialed
meteorology
in, and he was like,
degree.
"Okay, hey, we're on the air. All right, here's what we got. We got a Cat 4. We got a Cat 4 coming in.
That was good. That was a good little report.
Yeah.
From Tampa.
Look at Spectrum News 1 with Brez's
We got
dad.
it all.
Brez, go let everyone. Brett, go let everyone know across the hall. We got Brez's dad doing some weather. on the national level.
We got a Cat 4 coming in the sports world. It's called
That's
Media
something
Day
they've
on
never had to
Monday.
say over at Spectrum News 1. We got a Cat 4 coming in over here at Hermosa.
Seriously.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Y'all think it's
Yet.
normal, these earthquakes out here? Gets me every freaking
So there was
time.
one the other morning. I didn't feel it. 4:30. I was up at 5 too, but I didn't feel it at Four Turtles. Rocked a little bit apparently, but
My dad and I had this talk just yesterday. I said, Dad, would you rather live in California, which he used to for several years, and earthquakes you don't have any warning on, or they've had about 2 days notice in Florida, here comes this hurricane. I mean, it makes more sense. You want the advance notice, right? You can bring in you pull your stuff in, your barbecue, your umbrellas, your patio furniture, put it in the garage. I don't know. But then it's an anticipation, a couple sleepless nights if you're living out there. It's pretty crazy either way.
how you liking the earthquakes?
I think they're.
I've taught you though. I've taught you, right?
What?
How to like.
Actually, I don't know. I said that I was going to run to the ocean.
No.
And someone told me not to do that.
Well, yeah, you're not going to have time to run. But here's the deal.
What do you mean?
Like they only last 15 to 20 seconds. You're not
Even the big ones?
Yeah, I've lived through the
that's
big
what I'm saying.
one. I
That
was
big
at
one
the
was
big one
15
in
seconds?
1994.
Northridge, weren't you?
Yes.
That was
I told you guys
15
this on this
seconds?
podcast.
No, you haven't.
No, it's like it's not very long. I mean, 20, it was 20, 30. Yeah, it went for, I don't know, maybe that was a little longer, but it's not that long. But you will know, okay, if you are not, it is a deafening, most violent sound. It's scary as the scariest I've ever been in my life. But everything else after that is not, if it just rattles and you're good.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to go, oh my God, and we're going to build. And
Yeah.
it's coming at you. So the big ones will come, you won't even know what hit you, and it'll be so loud. You won't, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
the houses like fall.
there were some buildings that fell around us, yes, for sure.
What happened in your building?
We had to be out for 2 months. It didn't get red tagged, it got yellow tagged. We were out 2 months because the wall came down. But next, right outside our window is where it dropped, and a lot of bad stuff happened because it dropped and collapsed on all the cars and stuff. And across the street was where the lower one went down, and we lost some people. But it was, yeah, no, I'm telling you, I've always told my kids this too, like the power of that one and just the sheer like deafening sound, and then the way the earth was going up and down is different than anything you feel. Like when we feel all these other ones and it's that rattling.
Yeah.
It's going this way. You know you're going to be okay. It's not, you can be scared. I'm not saying don't, but
It's uneasy.
it's uneasy
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. It's
quick, though.
But just
Yeah.
know you're good is what I'm saying.
Got it.
Kind of helps you a little
That
bit.
makes
at
sense
ease.
because I actually didn't know.
because they are like, if you're not growing up here, it's pretty scary stuff. But
So in those moments, you're supposed to get in a doorway?
yeah, well, it's funny. You're taught that from the time I was a little kid. I remember my parents saying the big one. I was a baby in 71 during the big one in Sylmar. And I don't, so obviously I don't remember what apparently the bookshelves fell.
Whoa.
And I was just a baby. But, you're always taught through school, under the desk, get in the doorway. When that one hit in 94, there was no time. You couldn't physically get up and move.
Yeah.
It was that violent and it was that up. So that, yeah, and that was also 4:31 a.m. Thank you, Dave. January 17th. So you didn't have time to, but then we did. We got up. It was my roommate. The other 3 guys actually weren't there. It was weird because just 2 of us, we fell asleep on the couch. And I didn't even know the wall came down. It was that loud. 5 feet from my face. Like the little wall was like crumbled. It was weird. So we went and got a flashlight. But what was weird was the earth, it was still moving. It was going back and forth for minutes. And no one was really talking outside. I live in a complex with a bunch of other athletes, but it was like all of a sudden you saw people's flashlights. But then another one hit. And it was
God.
loud, but not as obviously big as that one. But so you were like, that one I was in the doorway for. And then we turned on our flashlight and we both like looked in like a chandelier and like the wall were down. And I'm like, that happened?
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was crazy. And then we all got out and went to this evacuation field on campus. And yeah, we
That's
couldn't go back in our
wild.
place for like 6 to 8 weeks, I think it was. Yeah.
It is wild because obviously
Yeah.
I've lived through an F4 tornado in my hometown
Yeah.
and destroyed a lot of my hometown, things that have never been rebuilt. We had deaths. My high school teammate, her dad was left paralyzed and he was at work and trapped and everything. But yeah, you do feel, you get a sense,
Yeah.
driving home, you see the funnel clouds, you see the whole thing, the sirens.
So you've seen all that coming.
Oh yeah.
So
The-
you're supposed
the
to go under
tornado-
people have basements under the house, right?
Yeah, you've got basements, you've got cellars, whatever
Wow.
it is. If you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
a basement, you obviously get into like a pocket, like whether it's under the stairs, but not your basement, right? You hide in
Strip.
your shower away from windows. But my family the tornado went up and over my grandparents' house and continued on its way into town. So
I got a dumb question because I'm not from there. Hurricane, tornado, what's more
Hurricane is body of water. You have to have like
Scary.
a body of water, right?
But I'm saying, like, what's scarier? Like, what's...
I think hurricanes traditionally.
Yeah, I think they're more powerful.
There's just so much force
Right?
from the ocean that they've been building up. And
Yeah.
I mean, you see videos of now, so we see so much stuff, like houses floating away. I'm like,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
one of my eeriest experiences, the Lakers were the first team to play in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina 15 plus years ago. It was like a ghost town. I mean, remember that was the year where New Orleans had to play part of their season in Oklahoma City before there even was an Oklahoma City team. That might be 20 years ago, actually. But it was very spooky being just back in the French Quarter. There was nobody there.
Yeah.
The city was still trying to figure it
That
all
was
out.
a tough time.
Weird game to cover. Just it was cool. It's like everyone's standing ovation. Good job, New Orleans. But these natural disasters, they take time. It's to heal from sometimes.
Well, hopefully your
It's crazy.
dad's going to be okay.
Yeah,
in
sound
Tampa.
like I think he's gonna be okay. Thank you though.
This podcast, we've covered a lot of stuff. It's pretty
Covered a
cool.
lot. Do not take any of our advice when it comes to...
Yeah, don't listen to
Natural
us when it comes to
disasters.
natural disasters.
All right, training camp starts next Tuesday. Media Day is on Monday. We'll have all the latest following that big day, but hopefully you guys will join us for Media Day. It's at 11:30, 2.5-hour show.
Yeah, peace out.
live. We got players coming over to the desk, 2 hours live, 11:30. And it's the day when I guess you'll find all the players at least in a good mood.
Yeah.
For that one day.
Yeah, for that one day.
For sure. And then everything kicks off.
All right, good show.
So, all right. With that said, let's head to break. And when we come back, it's a round of Bucket or Brick. Welcome back to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play. Maybe they have a weather section. You can get all the updates that we weren't able to provide. Having said that, it's time for a round of Bucket or Brick presented by Jack in the Box. Bucket or
in the
Brick.
box.
We see Bronny and LeBron play together in the preseason.
I am going to brick this one. The great Ryan Trainer, our producer, came up in the preseason. Yeah, I'm brick it. Here's why. Ryan came up with this. Oh my God, they're going to play in the preseason together. And I started thinking, wow, then that's going to ruin the moment in the regular season. Went into the control room, had a chat with a few of the fellas. Okay. Came up with this. They're not going to ruin that moment by doing it in the preseason. LeBron's only going to play in a couple of preseason games. Why put them out there together in that moment? Wait till the regular season. Because if that happens in the preseason, then it doesn't matter in the regular season. It's already kind of over with and done. You disagree with me. Go ahead, Bress.
I was going to bucket this, but you're absolutely right. There's a brick.
Did I change your mind?
Yeah, you got to wait for, as Rob called them, the real games. That's
Why do it in Milwaukee? Right? You're going to do it in Palm Springs, Bress?
going to do it at Fiserv Forum? I don't think so.
Allie is pissed right now.
I'm not, but I did just remember that they don't play any games at Crypto.com Arena in the
that's the other
preseason.
thing.
So
And
do you
does
think they're
Bron
doing it in the
really
preseason?
need to play in the preseason like that? No.
Do you think they're doing it in the preseason, playing those two together?
No, I just had to think about it, and you just
Okay.
totally made it this little interpretation off of my eyes and my face. Bucket or Brick, one-on-one basketball isn't real basketball.
Just didn't look happy. All I'm saying. What?
Bucket or Brick, one-on-one basketball isn't
We did
real
this
basketball.
yesterday.
This
Brez,
is
give me
Trainer's show. His show was yesterday, not yesterday.
Brez, do it. You said it was.
I did,
You
right?
counted it.
It's
Yep.
real basketball.
Yeah,
of
you
course
did.
it is.
But that tells
You
me
know it.
everything I need to know about how you really feel.
Real. I mean, it's It's like it's fun basketball, and it's like, sure, you're going up against a guy and you can back him down, but it's not real team basketball.
Okay, so then you needed to bucket it.
Oh.
One-on-one basketball isn't real basketball.
Oh.
Allie hates it. Allie's a team player.
You should know that.
Yes.
It's the off season, so we get a lot of rankings by different outlets. Yahoo
Okay.
Sports listed their top 30 list of number 2 options on teams, and Anthony Davis was number 1. Bucket or Brick, you agree with Anthony Davis being listed as a number 1 second option?
This is tough for me because I don't see him as a second option, but of course with LeBron, he is the second option. So I'm going to wait.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
But I think he is the second option is what I'm saying. He is.
The point is okay, whether he's second option or not, he's on this list. You agree that he's the number 1
Yes, I
best
agree.
second option
Yes,
in the
I
NBA.
agree.
That's over Jamal Murray. That's over
Yep.
Giannis
Brown.
Antetokounmpo, because some people call Chris Middleton Michael Jordan. Remember when they called Giannis
Chris
Pippen?
Middleton is not the number one
call-
option, first of all.
You
Jaylen
call
Brown?
Jaylen Brown.
Jason Tatum, depending on how you
Devin
look at
Booker?
it. Devin Booker. Kyrie, Luka,
Ooh.
Kawhi, Paul George,
Fine, I'll brick it because you want me to.
Joel,
I
Tyrese
feel like
Maxey.
you want me to brick it, so I'm going to brick it. Go ahead, Bress.
Bucket it.
I'll go ahead and bucket this.
I did. I bucketed and you didn't like it.
I mean, all these people we just mentioned, none of them play defense. No.
Are we doing questions after this?
I think we need to go.
I think we
JJ at the press conference reiterated, Hell Week has come to a stop today. That's not what JJ said. JJ at the press conference reiterated the importance of Max Christie being a consistent part of the Lakers rotation this season, said defensively that Max Christie has, quote, a real chance to be a high-level impact player on that end. Bucket or brick, you agree with JJ that Max Christie can be a high-level impact player on defense?
This is a good one. You know, I'm going to agree. But, you know, I don't know. We haven't seen enough of him. I feel like I haven't seen him play a meaningful game since, like, February. I mean, how much has he grown?
want you to watch what
That's
they're
pretty good
watching
D
right
right
now.
there. I mean, the answer is yes, but the sample size is
I agree with you on that, Brez.
extremely small, Geet.
I'm going to bucket it because the potential to be is there, yes, because of the athleticism, the length,
Yep.
and his ability to kind of, he understands how to play defense. But, yeah, I do agree with you. Like, we haven't seen it yet,
Yeah, I think it's there.
but the potential's there. I'll go yes.
JJ Redick knows more than us. He's been working with him
does.
the last few months, so it's hard to
If JJ
disagree.
said his potential's there, then I believe he's right.
Okay.
He's paid like $5 million to make those.
Guys, this is an interesting one. You can bet on Jimmy Butler's Media Day hairstyle. Here are the current odds, courtesy of Bovada. Bald, dyed hair, you can see all the numbers. Afro, mohawk, twisties with the low fade. Buzz cut, emo, braids, man bun, dreadlocks. Bucket or brick, smart money is on Jimmy Butler going with another interesting hairstyle on Media Day.
I'm gonna bucket this, Brez. I would never bet on one that he's already done because I just don't see that happening. But I am gonna bucket it that he's going to do it because he kind of has to now, unless he's very upset and really wants to be traded and doesn't want to. But I feel like he's gonna do it.
I'm gonna go with dyed. I think he shows up with maybe some Miami coloration
Bald
there.
and dye jumped out to me as the top two in the
Yeah.
race.
I like the twisties with the low fade.
Okay.
I wanted to see what his hair was at the red carpet the other night.
It was braids, I want to say.
It was braids?
Yeah, because we showed that picture
It's going to be
with him
interesting.
and LeBron.
What a podcast, guys.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm gonna go call my dad back.
You go
All
call
over
your
the
dad.
place and way longer than it probably needed to be. And I
we
think
were
everyone's
talking
upset.
about
I can tell
Nacho and
everyone's mad at
Brett
us in
and the
here.
Lyft driver.
We lost Nacho and Brett.
They have been pissed at us
They
for
wanted to
30
go home an
minutes.
hour ago.
We're
control
breaking
room's
down
upset. I already know
hurricanes,
that for a
twisters, and
fact.
earthquakes where we have zero intel on.
Yeah.
I thought we did
Zero.
a great job.
You know what?
One step closer to Media Day.
We're getting closer to Media Day. We're going through our Hell Week. We're trying to get ready.
So we're going to make sure you guys go through Hell Week with us. You're welcome. Thanks to you for listening to the Lake Show podcast, presented by Jack in the Box. If you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on X at Real A Clifton, at Geeter3, and at Mike_Bresnahan. I see those names in my sleep.